Hi, my name is Max, and I am preparing to be a history teacher. I've often thought about the question I've heard myself growing up in school, and one that potentially I might be asked as a teacher. Why do we need to learn history? We now live in an age where much of the vast knowledge and experience we have gained as a species is available at our fingertips on electronic devices that fit into our pocket that have the capacity to search, recall, and discover much of what there is to know, including what has happened in the past. With that capability at our disposal, why take the time to sit in a class and learn about things we can just easily Google? Why read books and have discussions about history? Before you can answer these questions, another question needs to be asked and contemplated. What is history? As a teacher, my answer to that question will in essence be this. History is as much about what we think about what happened as it is about what actually happened. The way we think about the past is inevitably linked to how we think about the present and the future. To study history is to study ourselves and the world around us. Often people don't realize that they are surrounded by history. For example, I live near a post office that was built in the early 1950s and it still stands today. Imagine all that has transpired and emanated from that place. Could a letter have been sent from that post office that has a direct connection to your life? Who knows? Without the study of history, that particular history, one can't really say one way or the other. When we make a mistake ourselves, do we not usually ask the question of why we made that mistake? The same process takes place in the study of history and mistakes we have made as a society or country. When asked what we did on summer vacation, do we not then recall the events and things that took place? Suppose you went on vacation with family and or friends. Would they have the same story as you about that summer vacation? Or would they have their own perspective and takes on it? Expand that thought to a historical event. Do two different people, let's say the Hindenburg disaster, do they have the same story? Why or why not? History isn't just about knowing the past. History is also about understanding the past so that we may better understand the present. The issue of climate change is a perfect example of this. We know that the Industrial Revolution introduced the practice of digging and drilling for fossil fuels, which we then use to create energy and power industry by burning coal and oil, and later gas, which released enormous amounts of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. Later generations may look back on us in the 19th and 20th centuries with anger and resentment about so drastically affecting the planet's climate to the detriment of life, including human beings, by the use of fossil fuels. Will they consider why we did it, though? Will they consider the fact that the quality of life improved dramatically for countless human beings? So, you could perhaps say virtually everyone on Earth, more or less, due to the progress made in the Industrial Revolution. Will they consider what a world without electricity would be like, as that was a product of the Industrial Revolution? Or how about a world without advanced medicine? Definitely a byproduct of the Industrial Revolution. The conversation about why things are the way they are cannot take place satisfactorily without a look back at how we got here and why we got here. As a history teacher, I feel my most important service to my students will be to impart this idea of learning about today, about ourselves, through our collective and personal histories. To make better decisions, better choices will largely depend on our understanding of how we got here and why we got here, especially due to the fact that many of today's issues are not unique and indeed were issues in yesteryear. One thing moving forward with learning and studying history will be the availability of stark historical evidence preserved by photographs, film, video, audio recordings, and other technological means of preserving the past. Not to mention, of course, a solid collection of records, written accounts, etc. Unlike studying about ancient civilizations and the relatively distant past, the relatively distant past, we will have the recent past captured for us like never before, and will make the study and understanding of that past much more accessible. For example, here's a World War II era newsreel about the Battle of Britain, a film that was taken in the 1940s.
That day, when 375 German planes came roaring up the Thames River, the Battle of Britain became the Battle of London. The Germans broke through the charge of Hurricanes and Spitfires that went out to meet them. Gone was any pretense of aiming at military objectives. This was just savage destruction. Bombs fell alike on the homes of the East End poor and the Mayfair rich, on shops.
I want to be a history teacher because I believe we cannot achieve our great potential as people without the perspective of the past and what it means for us now and our future. I look forward to the opportunity to share that idea and the boundless value of knowing and understanding history with my future students. And I thank you very much for watching.